for 123 Main Street so that you can go back to it, but it doesn't get mixed up with all your new incoming emails. See what I'm saying? So I'll show it to you. We actually get through the rest of this. Anybody else? Those are all good. Those are all really good questions.
Are you having a training session after this?
This really isn't that easy. I'm gonna kill this for now. Everybody kind of got this, and I'll show you what it actually looks like in play. All right. All right. So we got that. So, all right. Here is Katrina. So this is my inbox. You can see that I have down here on the left, just like he said, I have transactions that are kind of currently in play. And then I also have my Folio icon up here, and I have a Folio icon over here, right? So these are the ways that I would access my Folio folders that are being set up, or that are, that Folio is scrubbing right now. If I drop down to here, you can see that I have a couple all set up here, different clients that I'm working with, different property addresses, all different stuff. I have a client folder right here that's not assigned to a transaction yet at this point. I have some listings, some buyers, all kinds of stuff. And then I have one that's even shaded up over here, and you see it says set up or remove. So this is a suggestion, what they would call a suggestion, that I can literally see. There's only one document in here, and you can literally say, it says, is this a transaction you're working on? And if they got it right, you can say, yeah, it is. These are the buyers and sellers. But in this case, they didn't get this one right. This actually belongs to another one. But for whatever reason, somebody put this little X here. I don't know where it came from. There's like a 105X.
Oh.
You see that?
No. Where? Shake your mouse.
Yeah.
See it up here in the title?
Yeah.
This 105X?
Yeah.
So for whatever reason, this one was either named something different or whatever. It knows it's a transaction, but it doesn't recognize that address from anything else that I've been working for. So it says, is this a new transaction or not?
Right.
So, and here you can literally just say, hey, that's not the right one. And it knows, is this somebody else's? Was this already added? In this case, yep, it was already added to Folio. And we can remove it, get rid of it. Okay, so now when I come up here, now I don't have my shaded in one anymore. All right. Well, let's take a look at actually what these folders actually do look like. Wrong one. Let's go to, there you go. All right, so this is one we just got under contract here not too long ago. 105 Lavenport Circle. So this is the one, this is the actual address that we had, and the other one kind of got confused. But you can see anything pertaining to this property address, it's literally storing in this folder, even AdWorks stuff that, our automatic 1 week of AdWorks marketing, even that goes in there. It goes, all the DocuSign transaction room stuff that Lisa sends is all in here. Sign installation is in here. Showing time, feedbacks that you received, showings that have been set up, all in here. Everything's set up all in one spot. And you can see that at the top, this is what I was talking about as far as the tag. Can you guys see that right there?
Mm-hmm. It's the address of the property.
Oh, got it. Okay.
That tag right there is that additional layer that I was telling you that when you archive this, that's where it's going to go into that archive. But this is that additional tag, just like promotions, updates, whatever, that is how it's classifying stuff. So if we go to the timeline. So here we have, the timeline. We've got to add all of our dates from our contract that we got, well, should be getting it in today. Add in the dates here, but we already had this set up for listing. Had it not gone under contract, we had scheduled brokers open for 8 May. These are the dates that we're kind of generally thinking about so that the seller understands once we put your house on the market, this is kind of our plan for the next, first week or second week of marketing. You can add anything that you want in here. You know, we just kind of keep it simple for them so that they understand it. Over here we have our service providers, we have our stager, I have my photographer, the lead stager, and then down here resources, we have the great schools, we have the USPS website, we have the cable thing. This stuff is, you know, you can add whatever you want, but Smart Move, basically you just add in the street address. They go in there, Smart Move, add in the street address and see, you know, what cable service providers are there in the area. If you have a partner that you work with for insurance, you can add them in there. You can add really whatever you want to do and customize this however you want to do it to, you know, provide resources for your, you know, your buyers. One of the things I really like about it is like for home inspectors. You know, you have the home inspection and then the client calls you the day of the home inspection and is like, who is the home inspector again? What's his telephone number? I have a question about this. Like that happens all the time. So this is an area where you can put in your go-to home inspectors, whatever, have them in there and literally just drop them into the transaction. And you can tell the buyer, hey, look, I've got everything for you in the timeline. Your resources are all there, all the people that are working on your transaction. If you need to contact them, here's all their contact information, their website, their address, everything, their phone number, you know, everything that you need.
So does that stuff just stay in the timeline by default, or you add it in each individual case?
You add it into each individual case. So what Folio will allow you to do is if you have, let's say, 3 lenders that are your go-to lenders, they'll allow you to put all 3 in, and you can literally just drop in whoever the buyer decides that they want to use. You know, same thing with home inspectors, whatever. Or somebody comes up with, you know, their own title company. Not many people know title companies, but if somebody comes up with their own title company, you can input that title company into here and have their information there just like all their other service providers.
So if you put in Picture Perfect,
Yep.
you add them in,
Mhm.
not as a resource, but you put them in the transaction, say it's a listing, as a vendor, and then you go in and you schedule in your timeline pictures.
Mhm.
Does it email Chris?
No, not unless you share the
You have
timeline
to
with her.
invite her.
You have to invite her, then she'll get that email.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep. But again, and that's one of the things that, you know, I can't remember what it was that we were talking about. Maybe it was Brian Buffini was talking about proficiency and skill, and the difference between proficiency and skill, like, you know, which one is more important in the transaction. But this is one of those things where it's almost like, you know, it's a proficient thing to be able to just provide this stuff, not only to your clients, but also to your business partners. You know, and then you do start to be recognized as somebody who's, you know, like, Bobby is the best organized agent I have ever met in my entire life. Like, I can't believe what she goes through to you know, put together documents and these timelines. She gets really, really in depth with it. She's much better at it than I am. But it's amazing. It really is. She's very good at this.
Well, I think clients like it.
They love it.
Because I tell them, I'm gonna try to call you every single week, just
Right.
give you an update, even if there isn't one, but they get constant stuff here, and they
Right.
love that.
Yeah,
They
absolutely.
feel like you're just, you know, you haven't lost touch with them, I think
Yeah.
it's good.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, especially for if you're working with, you know, the younger, you know, groups that are coming up now, they love this stuff. They love to be able to see at the, you know, snap of a finger at 11 o'clock at night when they're laying in bed, you know, watching Friends. That's what they do, right? No. But, yeah, or like keeping up with the Kardashians, I don't know, whatever.
So what happens to just general correspondence, let's say between agents, right? It has nothing to do with a transaction, you know, it's one agent talking to another agent. What does Gmail do with that?
It depends. If you have a property address in the email,
No, say there is none.
then nothing would happen to it unless,
Your inbox.
yeah, you were working on a transaction with that person, then it would ask you, is this someone that you're working on a transaction with? And it'll kind of, you know, spur you to start a folder with that person, you know, but other than that, that algorithm that they have is looking for specific key indicators that come up in a normal real estate transaction. And it's not 100% perfect, but that's why if there's something wrong with one of their folders, they'll say, you know, thanks for making Folio better, because they're constantly improving it and trying to, you know, refine the algorithm so that, you know, they're getting more and more specific as time goes. So it's really, it's really good technology, it really is.
So I bought it, or have it, and I set it up, but I don't think I set it up right, because I don't have anything in my calendar.
Yeah,
And I have it in the timeline, but I'm on Outlook too, so
Right.
I think maybe I messed something up.
yeah,
So if I called them, they would be able to help me straighten all that out?
there, you can't call them, but you can
Okay.
text them.
Okay. Sure.
I told you, college kids with Cheetos stuck to their
Yeah,
shirt.
seriously.
They're millennials, you can't call them.
So is there an area there in your transaction that you created where you could like put notes about things that you
Yes.
wanted to have notes just for you?
Yeah, absolutely, I'll show you, as far as like the events that are going on,
Just anything that you wanted to make notes about, not necessarily.
Well, like,
an
not, like
event.
if it's your client's birthday, you wanna send them a card. You
I'm
don't
not
want the
100%
client
sure,
see
to be
it.
honest with
Okay.
you. I'm not 100% sure.
It's designed as a timeline.
Yeah, there are certain places that you can write, so if you see it here on the timeline, can you guys see this notes area right here?
Move your cursor, where are you? Oh,
It's
there
on
you are,
ours,
okay.
So you have notes here, these are private notes. There's also notes that you can write on the actual event that are shared with the client, but if you wanna write specific notes that are not shared with the client, this would be where you do it.
Where
Show
are
me
you?
again,
Where
I
are
don't
you?
see you.
I don't see you.
I
Alright,
don't see
so-
you either.
I see
Where's your
finger.
cursor?
Look
I
at
wanna
the
see your
TV
cursor.
screen, is it
Cursor's
the
on
same
purpose
as your
open on the
computer?
screen.
It might
Oh,
be
we lost it
moving.
again.
That's why.
We lost it again, that's why. Cindy, how do we get this,
How do we?
Hit your refresh button at the top left.
why is technology not cooperating?
Right? Oh, it's dropped as a source.
Okay, can you guys see that again now?
Click on the Chrome button. It took a minute last time.
Nice logo, by the way.
Yeah, here it comes.
You just have to keep doing that. There you go. You good now?
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
so we're.
So right up here at the top of the timeline in your email,
Oh, notes.
notes,
Oh, yeah.
right here in this section.
Uh-huh.
So these right here are private notes that you can type into the transaction. And you will be the only person that sees these. As far as notes to the buyers about actual events that are taking place, that's actually on the timeline. Like you can literally open up an event and you see it says enter a note here. When the timeline is shared, your notes are viewable to the client.
Okay, that's
So there's
good.
two different places.
So the only thing that ever leaves your machine is the timeline.
The timeline, exactly.
That's the only thing that ever goes out.
Exactly. Yeah, this is a great resource for your clients, but this is primarily to keep you straight
Focus, yeah.
and to make it look like you're all over everything, even, if you're not directly dealing with it at the time.
And one of the files on the other drop down, see,
Right.
contacts obviously are in that deal.
Yep, so this is another great thing about it. Any file that you have emailed back and forth to the other agent on the other side, all those source emails are literally right here.
That's super.
And
So
it's-
you can-
Yeah, that's really nice.
So you can literally get the actual email that, that document was attached to, and it knows, interestingly enough, like we don't send all these documents like separately, but it knows the documents that go into certain transactions for somehow, and it will actually list them out. Like, if you have one Dropbox or one DocuSign email that has your entire packet in it, it'll say like exclusive buyer representation agreement, electronic signature. It knows like what they
So it
actually are.
separates the
because it's-
PDFs within that group.
Exactly, yeah. It'll actually list them out, like which ones it actually has. Sometimes, doesn't do it all the time yet, but
Does something happen when you click on the green folio at the bottom?
it's
of
gonna
that?
take you to the dashboard. And I'm gonna show that here in a second.
Okay.
Hey, Ken.
Does anybody have any questions about, go ahead.
I do. So the, on the right-hand side, the sidebar.
Yep.
Can you collapse that, or what did you do?
The, see
Okay.
the green folio icon, that,
Uh-huh.
that pops out your timeline or puts it back so that it's not in your way?
Okay,
Go ahead.
thanks.
So the notes, can you set up notes for different people in the transaction?
Not through this. This is only for your eyes. This is only for you to see, like Wendy was saying, what if it's their, what if it's their birthday or whatever? You can actually store that information in here, and when you go back to your Folio archive and pull up their timeline, you'll see all the notes that you included in there. But the only notes that you can share with people is if you shared like an event with, the buyer or whatever, you shared your timeline and the home inspection, they're on that, and you want to type in, I'll be there at such and such time, they will see that when you add it. They'll get an email that says, you added a note to that event.
But if you share that with multiple people, they're all gonna see that note.
Probably, yes. Yeah, because it's shared with everybody.
That
You know.
particular thing, if the different people accept that, they're gonna see whatever notes are in there
Yeah, yeah,
associated with that.
Isn't there a way you can separate it? Because when I did the transaction with Bobby, she had the listing, and I only saw certain things having to do with the buyer. I didn't see everything else. I did not.
I don't know the answer to that. Maybe there may be. I don't know the answer to that. It may be that that there is a way to only send this to to the client or whatever. It says that when you add these notes, it says that your notes will be viewable. So
Do the drop down beside the save button where it has the little people.
oh, there you go. So you can set it to everyone on the shared timeline, only me with edit permissions, people with edit permissions. So that would be an example where you could potentially set it for your client to have edit permissions,
And nobody else.
but not the other agent, and they wouldn't see it. But I include our transaction coordinator, and the transaction coordinator has complete edit permissions and all that stuff. But I haven't dealt with that too much. To be honest with you, I don't include the other agent on these timelines. Like this, to me, this is for me and the other, and my clients. Because of kind of those kind of things. I don't know it enough, to be comfortable with like, what are they seeing? What are they not seeing? Like,
Yeah.
for me, it'd probably be like, gonna grab a burger before the inspection. You want anything? Like, they don't need to see that stuff. So, I don't know it well enough to do that yet, but what I do know of it, I really like.
I'm pretty sure you can only see the things that you want them to see. Because I only saw the stuff for the buyers.
Probably.
On Bobby's transaction, she set us up, and I only saw that stuff. I never saw
Yeah.
anything about her sellers. I never saw any.
She might give them edit permissions and you not as the other agent on the other side of the transaction, and just share it with you and anybody, anybody that has edit permissions. Let me show you guys the kind of the under the hood of this. This is kind of, does anybody have any other questions about this kind of timeline in the Gmail interface or in the email interface?
Okay, you said something about, so if you have like multiple inspectors,
Mhm.
where do you set them up and do you?
That's
drop it?
that's the next screen
Okay.
that we're gonna go to.
You're better.
Good segue.
Good segue, yeah, absolutely.
You're on top, Jay.
I'm the straight man.
One of the other things before I go here is, right from this timeline, you can change the photo for the property, so you can put one of your listing photos on there if you want to make it, pretty. You can edit it. This is also a really good tool. You can literally ask for a review. Now, once your transaction is done, before you archive it, you can literally ask for a review, and it'll take the people that are shared on the timeline already, and all you have to do is upload your link to whatever review site you have, and customize the stuff, and it'll send your client right there with an email. Hey, send me if you wouldn't mind, write a review. So instead of you having to remember every single time to type out an email to somebody like, hey, please, give me a review, you can kind of have it on auto. It's just before you archive it, you send them the review link and a request.
That's
And it's,
great.
yeah, it's a pretty nice little thing.
It's all right there.
It's-
Everything is right there.
Everything is here.
That's nice.
No, not that I know of. I think you can only link one, I think.
Can you read the review before it links?
No. Nope, but,
Never
but,
know. Just saying.
but I will also say that Google does not allow you to do that, neither does Zillow. So, as far as I know, none of them allow you to do that, because then, of course, anytime we got a bad review, you just go in there and change it. So when you send somebody, the website to go to your Google business page, they fill out that review, you don't even know until it's already on your
And then
Google business
you
page.
can't do anything
You
with
can't do
it.
anything about it. So, this is just a way to make it easier for
Well,
you to remember, to send them a review link.
I think you know who your bad reviews would be.
Yeah, you just don't ask
Not
them.
always, not always, then
Well,
some can
yeah.
surprise
The,
you.
the agent might, but maybe the agent forgets and the transaction coordinator is just doing all the administrative
Right.
stuff and setting
True.
it up, and it's like, oh,
True. Yeah,
Right, and that's another
Right.
another great reason to have this tool, especially if you have a transaction coordinator and a team. You can use this to kind of integrate all those systems all in one place, and see what's going on in the transaction throughout this.
right.
So, I think this is pretty cool. I really like
How do
it.
you archive?
And then archive
Oh, it's right there.
is right there. Yep. And then you can even
Yes.
download all of your emails into a PDF file and store that
Mhm.
in Dropbox or whatever you want, in one file, all of your email communications in one time. Pretty awesome.
do you do that?
No,
Okay.
I don't. All of my stuff, you can
25,000
see,
emails.
you can see over here on the, so you got your Folio, these are the active folders right here, and then you also have, you come down here, you have your Folio archive. So this is literally all, all transactions that we've done.
Okay.
Everything is archived in one spot. I can go back to stuff that the first transaction I did, which Sandy talks about all the time. Like, make sure you keep your email communications. We always have to draw up a timeline for when this email was sent. It's all here,
Yeah.
in one spot and not in the 25,000 other emails. Okay, we got 30 minutes and pizzas here, right?
Pizza's here.
I forgot to make that announcement. Literally in 10 seconds, I forgot that. All right, so let's do the actual under the hood.
So do you want to eat while you talk?
How hungry is everybody?
Yeah, because I gotta speak.
So you want to get this? You
You
want
said
me?
you got 30 minutes left?
Well,
Hot
it
pizza's
was
better
from
than
11 to
cold pizza.
12:30 is what you put on the flyer, so that's what I'm going off of.
Right, so lunch is usually 12 to 12:30.
Okay, so let's do that then.
Hot pizza,
Take a break.
take a break.
You guys want
pizza while
want
they
something
talk.
to eat? Go ahead. That's good because I'm going.
That's nice.
If you set the smart folder up with your name, emails come in, they go in that smart folder. Do emails also stay in the general inbox and they duplicate?
They do until you archive them. So
So